Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. Welcome back to my living room, I mean. We are indoors today, and that is because one, weather's not cooperating with us today, which, you know what, I am loving. We are definitely getting some late fall, winter weather here in California, and I am really, really enjoying it. I needed it. I needed the cool down. So I'm inside today. It's only November, really, mid-November, and you can see we're already starting to get holiday stuff up here at my house. And this is not normal for us. We normally wait until after Thanksgiving. The weekend after Thanksgiving is our big weekend that we usually decorate. But the girls and I this year, we've just been really, really excited to get going. And so that's what we've done. We've put the tree up. We haven't totally decorated it yet, started taking out some of the other fun stuff. So we're working on it and we're having a really good time. So for today's video, what I wanted to do, I was thinking about, I like doing gift guides. I like doing gardener's gift guides because, you know, those of us watching, we're gardeners, and maybe you need some ideas of what you want to ask your friends and family for, or maybe you need some gifts for a fellow gardener. Usually I talk about products that I've used before, that I have, and I could vouch for. And I like doing that. But I thought it would be really fun this year to just go through and tell you all what is on my holiday wish list. I am one of those people that usually like to ask for practical things, you know, things that I know I'm going to use and I really want it and all that kind of stuff. And that is not what this list is. This list is pure fun, joy of gardening supplies, just beautiful, beautiful things. And so I had a fun time kind of picking things out, and hopefully you all will have a fun time listening and maybe getting some ideas. If you hear Monty in the background, he is growling at grass that's blowing in the wind outside. So okay, so let's just get into it. So of course I will put links to all of this stuff in the description down below. And if you all don't know how to get into the description for YouTube, all you do is look at the title and there's a little thing that says more. You click more and that will open up a whole bunch of words and information, and these links will be there. I'm also going to put these in my stories on Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, head over there and I'll have links for these there as well. And these are just where I found the links. I think you can find them at a couple other places. It's not all Amazon. It's some other things as well, like terrain and things like that. So hopefully you all can find this if it's something that you want to have on your wish list too. So the first thing on my 2024 gardening wish list is this beautiful Haws copper watering can. Look at how gorgeous this thing is. It's so beautiful. We are actually in the process of redoing our kitchen and living room, really our whole house right now, and I really am liking pops of copper. This is, they call it an indoor watering can, probably because it can't handle being out in the rain or anything like that. So I think it's just one of those things that's almost more for decoration than functionality. I just think it is just one of the most beautiful, beautiful things. It's not huge. It's only 2 pints. You could probably water, you know, a couple indoor plants with this or something like that. But I think it's just something that's really beautiful and really extra. Next thing on my wish list, I actually already have this one. I actually already have it and I use it all the time and I want more of them. And that is, I get this question a lot, my long gardening gloves that I wear. They are called women's work. Yeah, women's work gloves. They are extra long. They are not cheap. They're really, really beautifully, beautifully made gloves, and they are so worth it in the garden. I find myself reaching for those gloves every single time. Even, you know, when you use gloves in the garden and they get kind of wet, and you want them to dry off before you use them again, I will actually grab these even if they're still a little wet. That's how much I like wearing these gloves. We are actually selling these in our Gardener's Hand Care gift box on the Dig Plant Water Repeat shop, but we're only selling them in the gift box. So if you don't want them in the gift box, there's other places that you definitely can find these in other patterns and all that kind of stuff. But I just love them. I think that they're wonderful. They're great gloves. They're worth every single penny because I am definitely a glove girl when it comes to gardening, and I like to have nice gloves. I like to have gloves that I actually like to wear. It makes the whole experience so much better. So this woman's work is definitely fantastic. Now you have to think of the name. It is called women's work. They are women's gardening gloves. They're made specifically for a woman's hand. To me, I think that that's what makes them so comfortable. So for those of you gentlemen watching, these probably aren't a good option for you, but if you have a female gardener in your life, this would be a great gift for them. Next wish list gift that I have to show all of you is something else that is technically functional, but it's also incredibly beautiful. And it is this twine spool holder with scissors. My mom loves birds, all things birds. And if you look in her home, she has birds everywhere, right? She has birds on her picture frames and her vases, and she has little statues of birds. I don't know what you call it. Little tchotchkes of birds kind of everywhere. And I think that that style has kind of seeped in to my taste as well, because every time I see something that has a bird on it, I'm just like, that's so beautiful. I love that. I want that. I use twine all the time in my garden, and we just have kind of a roll of twine just kind of thrown into my gardening bucket. And I just think it would be so beautiful to have something like this. Again, not necessary, but sometimes in the holiday season, you don't want to get something for someone that's just purely functional. Sometimes you want to get something that's beautiful, that they're going to remember you by. And I think that this is something that could definitely be that. And it's not that expensive either. It's less than $30. It's my color green. I just love it. I think it's beautiful, and it's definitely on my wish list this year. So I did spend some time on Terrain. If you don't know the Terrain website, I love it. It's beautiful. It's part of the Anthropologie brand, and I really like Anthropologie. A lot of you ask me where I get my dresses from that I wear to events and stuff like that. 9 times out of 10, they're from Anthropologie. I just love it. And I love Terrain. Terrain is their outdoor offshoot store, basically. And they have really beautiful outdoor gardening things. And the first thing that I am obsessed with and I want is this Willow platform bird feeder. First of all, I just love anything willow. I'm so happy that I have a willow tree growing in my front yard, because I am planning to save every single branch that I prune off of that willow tree so that I can make things like this. I don't think I'll be able to pull off making a platform feeder like this, but I really do think it's absolutely beautiful. And I think it would fit in to so many different garden styles, and I think the birds would love it. It doesn't seem too big. It only says 12 inches, so I think it's a pretty small bird feeder. But I don't care. I just think it's gorgeous. Now, staying at Terrain, another thing that I found there that I love, and I want a bunch of these. These are terracotta pedestal lanterns. I have been loving terracotta this year. Loving all of my plots. I want to be terracotta. And I've told you this before. Robbie and I went to what's called the Great Junk Hunt, which is like a traveling antique kind of boutique show, and literally every single booth had something terracotta in there. So I really do think terracotta is like, it's in style right now, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And so when I saw this pedestal lantern, I just thought it was so beautiful, and I can just imagine putting a candle in there, or maybe not even a candle, maybe putting a plant with you know, a vining plant with the vines coming out of this lattice. I just thought it was so incredibly pretty. And again, something else that is just kind of extra. You don't need a lantern to put your candle in, but how beautiful would this be, especially as a gift? And I would love to have these indoors as well, because I do like burning candles indoors, and I think that this would just be absolutely beautiful. So I love hanging wreaths. I will even hang a wreath indoors. I actually like hanging wreaths on the inside of my front door, because my front door right now doesn't have any windows in it. So I have to dress it up and put a wreath on it. I like putting wreaths on my outside door. I just love wreaths. What I don't love are wreath holders. I don't think that they're always pretty. So I often will find myself just putting a screw into the door or a nail into the door, which is so bad. And I'll do it with the door that I have in the house now, because we're planning on replacing the door hopefully soon. But like if I get a new door, I don't want to do that. Or if I do it on my office door, I don't want to put a nail in it. And so I saw this, a brass leaf wreath hanger. Look at how beautiful this thing is. It is so extra for a wreath hanger, but I just think it is the prettiest thing, and it can be used any time of the year. So you can use it for Christmas, but then you can also use it for summer if you have a basket of cut flowers or something like that. I just think it would be so pretty. So this is definitely on my list. Again, more of that kind of copper brassy color. And I just think it's beautiful. So speaking of cut flowers, I definitely love cut flowers. I love harvesting flowers. And the harvest basket that I use right now is this small oblong basket that I actually got from the Goodwill a while ago, so long ago. And I love using that basket, but it's really, really small. But I want a harvest basket that's kind of the same size and the same shape and easy to carry around like that little dinky basket is. I found this harvest basket from a brand called the Basket Lady Store, and it looks stunning. So let's see, it's 22 inches long, 12 inches wide, and 12 inches high, and it's called Antique Walnut Brown. And oh my goodness, I could just imagine myself cutting my flowers, cutting tulips and putting them in there. And I just think it would be so pretty. I love baskets. I'm obsessed with baskets, but I need to find the right basket that I'm actually going to use, because like I said, I use that dinky Goodwill basket all the time. That's totally not big enough. So it's just really important to find the right basket. And to me, this looks like the right basket, which is why it's on my wish list this year. So I love wearing overalls in the garden. The overalls that I normally wear are from Duluth, and I often will put those on like a gift guide or my recommendations list. I love wearing overalls because when I will use my hands in the garden, I will automatically wipe them off on my clothes. So if I wear clothes out in the garden, you know they are an absolute mess. And I have so many pairs of jeans that are completely stained just from what I'm doing in the garden. And so one of my goals for this upcoming year is to try and start wearing gardening aprons. Not as a replacement for wearing overalls, because I don't think I'll ever stop wearing overalls on really hard gardening days, but there are some gardening days where I'm wearing something like this and I want to go outside and harvest something or sow some seeds or something really quick. And so I just thought it'd be so much easier to just put on a gardening apron. So I found this company, it's called Artifact, and they look like a fabulous company. Their stuff looks absolutely beautiful. This gardening apron in waxed canvas, I think, is really, really pretty. And so I think the waxed canvas is going to keep it nice and clean. It's handmade from Nebraska, which I think is amazing. It comes in a couple different colors, slate, black, and then tan. Of course, I like the tan one the best. I think it's really functional. I think it'll help me out. I think it'll help me keep my clothes a little bit cleaner. Okay, back to terrain. I didn't put this list in a very good order, but we're headed back to terrain just really quick, and we're headed back to talk about the Willow stuff again. This Willow garden obelisk is beautiful, and I have had my eye on Willow gardening obelisks like this for so long, and I just have a really hard time finding them. I can't find them anywhere locally at all, anywhere locally, and I found a couple of places online that will make them, but the shipping is really, really intense, and you know, just too much to pay for shipping. So I found these from Terrain, and I think that they're beautiful, and I just think that that look of the willow is, I just think it's gorgeous to have plants growing up it. So I would love to have a couple of these in my terracotta planters, terracotta pots. I think that that would just be incredibly beautiful, and it's a way to give your container height when you don't technically have a thriller. And sometimes I don't want a thriller in my containers. Sometimes I just want like some supertunias and maybe a spiller. And this is a way that the spiller can kind of grow up the obelisk, and then we can have the supertunias or whatever else is the filler. Anyway, I just think it's really pretty, and I think that this is a fun one. It comes in 3 different sizes. The smallest size is 28 inches tall. So really good for like a pot is $36. And then the biggest one is 47 inches tall, which is $51. So I just think that this would be a beautiful gift for someone you love. Even if you got this and put it in a cheap terracotta pot and then maybe planted a couple things in it, what a gorgeous, gorgeous gift for someone. So last but not least, the thing that is definitely on my wish list for this year, which I think is beautiful, are these Green Man pot feet. So they're made out of terracotta. Speaking of the great junk hunt that Robbie and I went to, the traveling antique show, when I was there, I got this big, I don't know what you would call it, like a plaque, a sign of a green man. And a green man it's a character that represents like rebirth, basically like the garden going to sleep in the winter and then waking up in the spring. It basically represents the garden, rebirth in the garden. And it's just beautiful, and it's just so romantic to me. And so I have that plaque that I'm going to be hanging up on my fence once I get my fence figured out and not falling over. But I really like the green man motif. I think it's really pretty. And Robbie, speaking of Robbie, my friend Robbie I think he has ones like this. Not exactly like this, but they've definitely been on my wish list. And I was looking all over to see if I could find them, and I found them on Etsy. I think the shop has a bunch of different types of pot feet that you can choose from, and different, things that you can put out into your garden. But man, it's cool. It's a cool shop. It's a really, really neat shop. So I'd encourage you to go over and look at it, and see what you think. But it would just be a really, really fun gift to give to someone, something really easy, and then it has a good story behind it. The green man motif, it just has a really beautiful story to it. So anyways, these green man pot feet in terracotta are definitely on my list times 20. I don't know, however many pots I have. I want them on all my pots. Anyway, so that is 10 gifts that is on my gardening wish list this year, things that I'm asking Jason for. I know I'm not going to get all of it. It was fun to just go around and see, what I would like, and something that if I wasn't thinking about practicality, what would I want to get? And these are the type of things that I would want to get. So just kind of fun. I hope this gives you some good ideas of what to put on your wish list, and then also what to get for your friends and family that are gardeners as well. Again, all the links will be in the description down below. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.